Hi everybody, Gloria Jean here. Welcome to another episode of Women in Pool. We're kind of winging it, and at the same
Hi
time,
everybody, Gloria Jean here.
oops, Daisy. And at the same time, we have a little bit of planning here. We have some amazing special guests. One of them I wanted to be a surprise for you. Talk about trailblazers in the history of women's billiards. Um, so what we're going to do right now is I am, after thanking you and thanking everybody who is joining in, I'm asking to help us build Women in Pool, to help us build this. Please do me a favor and take this and share it and get as many people interested in this as possible. We have an amazing panel. Our panel consists of, and I shouldn't even say panel, but panel and guests consist of Joanne Mason Parker obviously, Kelly Fisher, Allison Fisher's been on, Brittany Bryant, Ava Matai Lawrence, Lori John Oganowski, Mary Keniston, Mary Avina, and the list just goes on and on. So we have this platform for all women, from juniors to amateurs to pro. And thank you very much. Appreciate that, Dave. And what we're here to do is build. And if you'd like to send us some stars, stars are always appreciated. I like stars. We all like stars, to let us know that having this live stream completely free uh, um, uh, is helpful to you. Um, we're supposed to have Christina to catch on. I'm not sure if she's actually going to be able to make it, but let's see how things go. Hey Ron, thank you for joining. All right, so what I'm going to do right now is, hey Jay, how are you? Is I'm going to start sharing away, and I'm going to give the mic over to Miss Joanne Mason Parker.
Hi, Gloria. It is so great to be with you today. And I have never done this before outside of one of my homes. So I am here at my home pool room with my girl, Stephanie, here, who I'm going to let her say hi in a moment. I just want to say that I'm in Diamond Gyms in Nanuet, New York. This is the most beautiful, lovely, awesome pool room. It's so welcoming, and I'm really loving being here I really came here in the spring, summer, and a little bit of the fall. And last year I was here all year, and everybody is so nice. And it's such a cool spot. It really is. Today we did something really special. And I'm going to put Stephanie on so that she can tell you a little bit about it and introduce herself. And she herself is a trailblazer for women in pool because of what she did today and what she continues to do all the time. And she works tirelessly in this pool room. So here we go.
All right, thank you. Nice to meet you, Stephanie.
Hi there. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
So, um, so I first experience in life was owning this pool hall. Pandemic hit. It was rough. We got through it. And the one thing that I realized after everything was we need to get the ladies involved again. We need to get them on the tables. We need to get them shooting. We need to get their confidence up. And we need them to know that this is not a man's sport. This is a woman's sport too. And we could do this just as good as anybody else can. So today we had a little mini amateur 9-ball ladies tournament. It's actually still finishing up. We got I think the final match is underway right now, if I'm not mistaken. And everybody had a really great time, and we got the ladies out this afternoon. Little Sunday fun day, shooting some pool, and Joanne was great. She gave everybody some tips and helped everybody along.
That's
And
Joanne.
I'm just super happy to have this pool room and be a part of, bringing us to the front of
And
this
that's great
of this
because
industry and the game.
there are so many pool rooms that are owned by men. Send a shout out to Jay Omer, says hello ladies. Hi Jay. Jay is he
Hey
runs tournaments
there.
for me cross country over in California. I'm in New England, and he's my tour representative out there as well. So big hello to Jay. He's a big supporter of women in pool. Yeah, so I agree with you wholeheartedly, Stephanie. Otherwise I wouldn't have tried to make something, a safe haven for women. of all ages, of all skill levels, of all ethnicities. It doesn't make a difference. You know, you're here and you're basically your family. That's the way it is. We're pool family.
Yep.
We're just, you know, we don't really want to segregate, but we also have to, you know, uh the ratio of men and women are, it's just so lopsided that, you know, I want it to start to kind of meet someplace in the middle, or at least get close, you know.
Yeah,
uh
absolutely.
so um so anyway, hey Heather Lakatos, Heather, how are you? Heather, just saying hello. Heather
Hi,
is heavily
Heather.
involved in hey Sean Damani. We all know Sean Damani over at Jointed Q. Sending a shout out to Jointed Q. They're one of the places that we have over in California that we run tournaments out of. So take a look over at Jointed Q. Look it up on Facebook, everybody. Send as many plugs as we can. Get people going here. Back to Heather. Heather's heavily known in the pool world, but I can't tell why, or she'll make sure that I never talk again. Um, but look her up, and I can give a hint. The Carolina area, and I'll just say APA. That's all I'll say. Um, all right, so what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be bringing in a guest, and then what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about pool. If anybody has a question, Heather, if you have a question, Ron, if you have a question about a shot, Jay, if you have a question, if anybody has a question about a shot, we're going to set something up with Joanne, and then we're going to go over some tips on how to get your best game going. Hey, Mr. Pickles, Kyle, how are you doing? So first and foremost, I want to say that Miss Elise Valancourt is here. Elise, can you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and some family history?
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Elise Valancourt. Thank you so much for having me on.
My
So
pleasure.
I kind of grew up with pool. I mean, my mother, Palmer Bird, obviously, pool was a huge part of her life. I grew up always being around a pool table. We had one in my first house that I lived in, and then growing up, they ended up getting rid of the pool table. But I rediscovered the game in college and joined my mother's APA team. And I've been hooked ever since, and that was 13 years ago. And I play, multiple times a week in APA. I captain two teams myself. I'm on a ladies' league team, and yeah, just really just kind of followed in her footsteps a little bit. I mean, she accomplished so much for the game, and she was really proud that we got to share the love of pool together. So
Yes, yes, and it really is an honor to have you on the show, and just to give us, you know, a brief description about, you know who you are. Your mom was actually a trailblazer for the WPBA, um, and women's pool in general. It helped pave the way for so many women uh, uh, over the years. We wouldn't be where we were without your mother's, you know, support and whatnot. So um, you know, we can't be thankful enough, uh, because it takes just one person, you know, to change so much. Um, but by having women in pool, we stand we have power by numbers, you know, and that's what we have to continue to do. We have to
Definitely.
continue to support each other. It's about supporting women in the industry. So,
Yes.
your mother was
absolutely.
a, you know, yeah, she was really really big on that. I also want to send a shout out to, even though she's not on right now, shout out to Lori John Oganowski Brown, who's on the panel. You don't have to be on the WPBA to be a trailblazer or any of that. You just have to be someone who supports women and is good for the game. That's it. Oh, and thank you, Ron, for the stars. I got stars. We got stars, ladies. Thank you so much. I
Yay.
appreciate it.
Woohoo.
Hey, practice room
Nice.
is in. They're looking at over on YouTube, because we're on YouTube as well. And hello to the
Oh, on
practice
YouTube
room.
also.
It's a gentleman, a
Oh,
very
cool.
nice gentleman we know. McConaughey's Pickles. Say hi to McConaughey's over there. We have Kabute. Um, so I think tonight we're going to be starting off. Let's see. Um, Joanne, boom. Yes, thank you. As Bobby Hilton would say, boom. Um, uh, uh, so
Bobby Hilton's funny. I can't wait to see him
yeah, he is a funny
in
guy. He's
person.
definitely a funny guy.
Yeah.
Ask him about his haircut. He likes his haircut.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I will.
yeah.
Sure.
Don't ask. I
Don't,
hope
and I won't
Bobby
then.
Bobby better be watching this
Listen,
and
I don't want to
sharing
get in
this, so he's
trouble with
gonna hear
him.
it. Huh?
Yeah, please share, like and share. Everybody like and share.
Yes, thank you. That would be great. So uh, before we get into things with Joanne, we're gonna talk a tiny bit about. Can we pull up the Women in Pool 2000 added?
Yes, talk about the tournament coming up.
Let's talk about the two tournaments that are coming up for women. So
Yes,
tonight we have a
yes,
tournament
yes.
right here.
Right in Dimensions in Nanuet. They're finishing
Yep.
up here.
So that's one.
Yep, we had
And
8
now,
ladies.
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, please, Joanne.
I'm sorry. No, I was just saying that we had 8 ladies show up today for just, and Stephanie put this together really last minute just so that I was able to come and help people out and get the women, like she was saying, more comfortable on the bigger tables because you can't, I don't know that you could see in my video here, but this pool room has 10 full-size tables, but also 4 bar-size tables, diamond pool tables, and a huge horseshoe-shaped bar, which is beautiful, and the best bartenders in the business, making you the most delicious cocktails ever. And it's always fun here, and the women play in a lot of the leagues, and so because they play the leagues typically for the women, they're usually on the bar tables. Some of them are comfortable on the big tables, but not all of them. And Stephanie really, she wanted to do this to be able to expose them and get them to feel just as comfortable on the big tables, which I think is brilliant.
Yeah, no, I think that that's great too because me personally, I've always played on 9 foot, so
Mm-hmm.
that's where I feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable on a 7 foot, an 8 foot,
Right,
kind of.
right,
Um,
sure.
but with that being said, different strokes for different folks, and that's why we have so many different colors and so many different things. The world would be boring
That's,
if we all had dark
that's
hair and
true.
dark eyes, right? It would just
That's
be
right.
wouldn't be the
Absolutely.
same, right?
That's right.
Um,
Absolutely.
so so
Yeah.
um what's that's in New York City?
We're in Nanuet, New York, which is north of New York City. We're just over the Tappan Zee Bridge, which is now called the Governor Mario Cuomo Bridge. I grew up
Yeah,
in New York. I will never be comfortable saying that. Never. Right? You too, of course. I'm like, it's the tap. Sorry.
yeah.
So I live in Westchester while I'm here, and it takes me like, I don't know, 23 minutes to get here. So it's a nice,
Okay,
easy ride.
so
So
I just want
if
anybody
you're
that's
watching
watching
us,
to know, because what I'm thinking is maybe we can get a tournament out there and I can get a flyer made up
mm-hmm.
and we can get like an actual tournament, even if it's
Yeah, for
just
sure.
16
Stephanie would love it,
players,
I'm sure.
and
Yeah,
try and
that's
put that
right.
together and we'll throw like a Women in Pool logo like right on
Yeah,
there, and
that's
maybe
right. Sure.
get some discounts from In the Zone apparel for like
Yes, in the
10%
zone
off
apparel.
tournaments. They can shop the Battling
Yeah,
Beauty collection, or
yeah,
the Quick Fire, or Emily
yeah,
Duddy, the Bombshell, right? All
yeah.
right. So, but let's get to this. So
And Monica West.
let's pull up the $2,000 added over at Yale Billiards.
Yes, yes.
All right.
That's a
So can
good
everybody
added
see
tournament
that?
for the ladies. 650 and under Fargo.
Yeah. Can everybody see that right there?
They can't.
Okay. No,
I
I'm
can,
asking if the
right?
audience can see it.
Mm.
I'm looking just for confirmation, the audience. So that tournament right there, that's Whip. That's my little logo that I made. And what's gonna happen here is Women in Pool. I have guaranteed a $2,000 added tournament. All right. So
Right.
hi Barbara,
September
how are
10th
you?
and 11th.
September 10th and 11th. Now, should it not go 2 days, know that uh, we will see if we can get like a small tournament going the second day. But
Nice.
let's just talk a little bit about what's going on here. So what I did was I made it a 650 and under for our initial. This is going to be a yearly thing. And what I, like I said, what I promised was 2,000 added. What I went ahead and did was I got us templates as well from Outsville. And the templates are going to have women in pool, basically that it's an inaugural, our very first one. And then what I went ahead and did is not only am I adding the $2,000 guaranteed, but I also got gift cards from Pool Dog. So I'd like to give a shout out
Oh, wow.
to Pool Dog, because that's going to give the people who just say we pay out the 20% of the fields, right? It's going to give a little bit extra to some women, and some of those are going to be placed in raffles as well. So I wanted to do something even further for the ladies, to give them a little bit more than they would normally get. So
Can
I
I
worked
just say
really
that's
hard.
amazing?
Thank you, Joanne. Thank you.
That's amazing. Really great.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I wanted to do for the ladies. And there's the flyer right there. And this is in collaboration with Yale Billiards, Mr. Bobby Hilton, aka Boom, um, Mr. Hare. And then Blue Felt Tour. I'd like to give a shout out to Blue Felt Tour Championship Edition. I always have problems with that. And that's Mr. Eric Tang. He's a tour director. We'd like to shout out to the Shark Stream, because we're going to be using their equipment, but it's going to be here on this page. So let everyone know that it's going to be on Women in Pool. This is the only place you're going to be able to watch these ladies play. All right. So it's going to be 7 on the winner, 5 on the one loss, and there's going to be an extended race in the finals. If anybody has any questions, send me a message and let me know. If you don't have a Fargo rate, how can you play? Laura Berg. Laura, I'll go by your APA handicap, or your VNEA, USAPL. Like, send me something that will solidify your handicap, and I'll look it over and I'll approve it or decline it. Because we really want to make this a 650 and under Fargo, so that it's fair for everyone. We don't want to go up past that range. So if you're interested, please send me a message. Yeah, you're very welcome. All right. So anybody that wants to sign up, there's still open spots. It's been extended till August 31st. All right. William, thank you so much. Can't wait to meet you either. Definitely Barbara as well, and Nelson. All right. Now we're moving on to the Palmer Bird Cup. And this is going to be at Rax Billiards, which is also in Connecticut. And Elise, I'm going to ask for a few words from you to help me here. Okay, so really quickly, these are the 4 captains for the Palmer Bird Cup. Elise, do you want to take over? I know Stacy Bourbeau for the last, 12 years she's been playing in my tour. There's Elise Valancourt, top left, Stacy Bourbeau, bottom right, Sarah Archer, bottom left. And I'm going to have Elise take over, tell us a little bit about this. This was an event that is in honor of her mother, and tell us a little bit about it and what's going to happen. And then we're going to move on to Joanne, and we're going to talk about any shots that people want to know about, or Joanne's going to show us a couple things. So.
Yep, absolutely. So the 4 captains, myself, returning champion captain from last year. My team won it last year. There was a tournament this year held, a blue felt, to decide the remaining 3 captains. So Stacy Bourbeau, she was the national amateur champion last year, or I'm sorry, this year for last year's qualifier. And then Sarah Archer, a very good player from our area as well, Jocelyn Hurley. So based on the outcome of that blue felt tournament, those are the 4 captains that were selected. And was of the random matchups were that Stacy Bourbeau's team and my team will be facing off September 17th and 18th at Rax. That'll be live streamed as well. So be sure to tune in to that. And then the other 2 teams, captained by Sarah Archer and Jocelyn Hurley, will be the second matchup weekend, which is September 24th and 25th. The 2 finalists from those weekends will compete in the finals, which is October 14th and 15th.
All right. And that's going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be, can you tell us a little bit about the format, please?
Yep, it's a Moscone Cup format. So 8, 9, and 10 ball is played. Rosters are determined ahead of time and submitted to the tournament directors a week in advance. Each player is required to play a singles match and 2 doubles matches. There's a captain's pick at the end if it becomes, like sudden death down to the wire there at the end. Each match is a race to 5 with the winning team needing 7 total points.
There we go. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So what the men have for the Moscone Cup, the women now have for, this was talked about by me and another individual probably in 2015, 2016, but it never came to fruition, and now it has. Does it make a difference who brought it up here and made it become a women's event? But here we go. So Elise, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
What we're gonna do now is we're gonna head over to Joanne, and maybe Elise and I can have Joanne talk us through uh what she, because we don't have any questions here. So maybe Joanne, maybe I can ask a question. Is that okay, Joanne?
Absolutely.
Are you game?
Absolutely. But I'm 100% game, but can I first just, I want to just throw out there, because I don't know that we spoke about it at Yale Billiards on the 11th. First of all, I will be there on the 10th and just hanging out and talking to people and just meeting everyone and just chilling, because I'm not playing in that event, obviously. So I'm above a 650 Fargo. But the following day, from 10 to 2 o'clock, is going to be my clinic. So if you haven't signed up for that yet, please reach out to Bobby Hilton and do that, because you're going to really appreciate it and love it. I'm sure of it. It's going to be a really great time, and you'll be able to ask me whatever questions and whatever might be going on with your game. I'll be there to work with you individually and in a group setting and share to the best of my ability what I have been personally working on over these last 18 to 24 months now on this comeback trail of mine. So I'm really excited about that and being able to share my knowledge with everybody. So
Yes.
I'm looking forward. I already know that we have a couple of men signed up for it,
Yes.
not just women. So that's pretty cool too. I like that. So
hi,
we'll
Mark
be a
White.
mixed crew.
Yes, and that's great, and that shows a lot, because the guys are coming to Joanne for some help. So I think that's
I
really
actually
great.
teach at, yeah, and Gloria, just so that you know, I teach out of this billiard room here. I don't only practice here, but I teach out of here. And I don't only teach women. I have a lot of male students and that I've been working with for months already that have gone so far with their games. And the more you put into it, obviously, the more you're going to see out of it, and
Right.
and you're going to get better. But I love the serious students.
I have a question here from Heather Lakatos. Can amateur players gain entry into WPBA events? Can amateur players gain? Well, that's more of a question for Lori John, really. But Joanne, yeah.
If you want, I can help answer that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I don't know where Heather is located, but I know that around the country, I know that in my area in Florida, there is a tour called the Tiger Tour, and that is like a feeder tour for the WPBA. And they will have different tournaments throughout the course of the year, and some of those tournaments are actually qualifiers for WPBA events. And a lot of the ladies that start off on that regional level, they're not pros yet. So yes, the answer to your question, Heather, is yes, you absolutely can. You just need to win a qualifier, can find out where they are, join that particular regional tour, play there, and then hopefully win that qualifier, and then you get to come and play against the big shots.
Yes, and I believe that happened because I was supposed to take Bonnie Saratelli, or Bonnie Mitchell, as she goes by, ran the WPBA tour out of Bose here about 2007, and she asked me if I wanted to take over the WPBA, and I declined so I could build my own tour. So I did not run the events over there. There's back with Candy Rigo and those ladies,
Oh,
Liz
oh,
Taylor.
I know Candy.
Okay, there
Liz,
you
of
go.
course.
There you go. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So that's
Both
how far
very
back we're
good
going.
players.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. So
Sure.
anybody have any questions? Hey, Tony Russell, how are you,
Have a
Tony
table.
Russell? My custom cue maker. Shout out to Tony. Love you, Tony. All right. So you know what, Joanne? How about this? How about you are you comfortable with like just a plain, 15 ball break and then ball in hand and kind of show us how
Um,
you approach the table and the layout there? Like
you know
talk
what?
us through a little
I'll
bit
tell
about
you.
it.
I'm going to tell you what I like to do in my practice, and I think
Okay.
the better thing for me to do is maybe give the folks at home a little bit of an insight into how I've been training myself in these months.
Definitely.
Okay, so I'm going to give you like an abbreviated version of that. You tell me that you can still hear me. I'm going to come to the table now,
Okay.
and you let me know that you can see everything okay.
Okay.
Um,
And Elisa, are you comfortable still staying?
Yep, I can stay on.
All right, great. Okay. All right, Miss
a
Joanne,
big,
we're ready.
okay, all righty. A big push for me has been all about cue ball control, working on my physical setup at the table, which if anybody read Billiards Digest this past month in August, I have a big feature in there, which was so nice of Mike Canozo to do that, and appreciate all the hard work that I've been doing and how successful I've been so far. A big part of that success has really come from me remaking my physical setup at the table. And at Yale Billiards, I'm going to talk a lot about this in great
Yeah,
detail
don't
and
give too
share
much
that with
away.
everybody. I won't. I
Okay.
won't. But I'll just say that. And I'll just give you a little tidbit of part of what I do during the day. Um, One of the things I like to do is do something called have a missless practice session. What does that mean? That means come into the pool room and for 3 hours, I make a mark of time for 3 hours, not miss. So you say, well, how do you do that? Well, it's not done by shooting obviously very difficult shots, but rather shooting more simple shots, but with simple position and working on cue ball control and my fundamentals and my mechanics. And it builds your mental stamina in order not to miss. So I don't accomplish it every time I set out to, but I accomplish it more often than not, for sure.
Okay.
So I'll just give you a little bit of that right now and some of the shots that I'll shoot to make that happen for the day. And I
And you're going to
don't
be
do it.
shooting with your
I'm going to
navigated
shoot.
chalk and your cue.
And my Blue Impact Custom Cue, Toru Hayakawa, you're a cue genius. We know that.
Okay,
We love
just
this
throwing
cue.
that out there.
Thank you very much, Gloria. Yes, and my navigator tips
I
and talk.
got your
You're
back.
correct. Navigator. Yes, you do. You're the best. Okay, so here is one example of the type of a shot that I'll work on.
All right.
Fairly simple routine shot that comes up in matches all the time. Shots you want to leave yourself. So I'm gonna hit this 4 ball into the corner pocket, and I'm gonna follow with inside English, 1-2 cushions back out to center, and I'll do it like this, and I'll work on my pre-shot routine. I'm gonna take it seriously. And here we're getting to center table. That's beautiful. Okay, so that was on that side of the table. I never do anything without repeating the same shot on the other side of the table using the other English. I don't like to stand here and just do things, what I like to call machine gun style, because that's not legit. That's not what really goes on in a match or, when you're in a tournament. So I like to make each shot individual, and I'll shoot the same shot on this side of the table. And now it's going to feel differently because I'm not going to shoot it lefty. I'm going to shoot it righty, but on this side, you're going to see my body position looks different, although it's the same shot. And then that is done that way. So I will do that for actually 15 shots total, and then another 15 shots total. And I'll take my time about it, and I won't rush myself. And I am not joking when I say this is not easy to do, even though the shot is simple and the position is simple. It takes a lot of good mental focus. So not only are you working on your pre-shot routine, your mechanics, making that ball, getting position, but you're working on your brain. You're training your brain. And I like to do this both sides of the table thing because I do yoga just like you, Gloria.
Yes.
And I like to make everything even. I feel it's more grounding and
Yes.
it just makes you a more complete player that you don't neglect one side over the other because we all have a favorite side, right? I mean, everyone
Yes.
likes one side or the other side of the cue ball better. Don't do that. Try to even them out continually. So that's one example of one shot. I'll give you another example. You can have a shot like this where I want to move the cue ball a little bit more and go 1, 2, 3 cushions and back out to center.
Mm.
Oh, and there you have a miss, which we don't like, and we try to avoid at all costs. And there's the shot like that.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Thank you. All right.
You're
So you'll have a
welcome.
shot like that, and then you'll do the other side, and you'll repeat it that way. Then you'll do a shot in the side pocket. Again, 1, 2 cushions and out to center.
Very
Coming
nice.
back to center again. Now, understand, all of these things are fairly simple, but they must be trained. And you have to train your stroke, and you have to think about it, and you have to develop your own pre-shot routine, what works for you. I mean, what works for me may not work for somebody else. And, you know, as a teacher now, as well as being a player again, I myself have learned a lot from my students and how to be flexible with how I teach and what I share with my students and how I help to teach them one way versus another way, depending on what I find that they respond to. So that was just a little bit. Do you have any
Could I throw
questions?
something? Can I throw something in even though you're
Yes,
teaching tonight? I would, because you know that I recently became a PBIA and ACS
yes,
instructor. So,
yes.
for me personally, I would say, um, put put a camera there and record yourself. Even if it's just for a few shots, so you can see what you're doing right, what you're missing when you miss something. You know, even if it's just taking that little portion of the video and cutting it down. I've always recorded myself and I keep a lot of my videos private, but I think that
Right.
that's really important because you see, you know, am I at the 90
That
degree when
is,
I upon contact, or, you know,
yeah,
what am I doing? Am I chicken winging out? Am I not staying down on my shot? You know,
right.
that kind of thing. I just feel that's so important for people to maintain the
Definitely. You know,
consistency.
it's so different now than it was years ago when I played. We have our phones. I mean, this is how I'm coming to everybody tonight. I'm using my phone right now, which is remarkable. And this phone turns into this training tool of exactly what you're talking about, Gloria. And I love that idea too. I do film myself sometimes as well. And I film my students as well. I take short little videos of them. Sometimes it makes them a little bit nervous, but then we look at it together and then we can really isolate things. What might be a problem? Maybe jumping up, maybe the backhand is too close up or too far
Too
back.
far.
You know,
Yeah.
you need to be at the balance point, and depending upon how much stick you have out at the cue ball. So, you know, these are all things that, you know, local pro instructors, wherever people are, in whatever neck of the woods they happen to be in the country, can really get help like that. So
Yeah. And
that's important.
consistency, I talked about
Mhm.
that. It's just so important for me, for especially when you're like just starting out, you know, because
Sure.
you gain so many bad habits, or your friend says, "Hey, shoot it like this." But, you know, you
Right.
make it, and then you get in the process of making it, but you're making it without doing it properly. So you kind of
Right.
all
Right.
over the
Exactly.
place. And I
Sure.
mean, Joanne, you placed third in what event was that? Please refresh
At the
my
Super
mind.
Billiards Expo.
Yes.
Yeah, at the Super Billiards Expo. Yeah, my first start out was up in Walker, Minnesota, and I came all the way through to the final four on the winner's side. I ended up losing a hill match to Jennifer Beretta. She plays great. We played a beautiful match together, and she just edged me out. I ended up losing and getting knocked out by Monica Webb, who also is another fantastic player.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up fifth the first time, which I felt so great about. I was so nervous, incredibly nervous, and then played again at the Super Billiards Expo and ended up on the winner's side again. And Kelly ended up beating me there. And it's just been an incredible run so far. I feel so like blessed that I can still
You're just
do
back
this.
in the saddle. It's like riding the
Yeah,
bike. Um,
I just love playing. So much fun.
I have a question. Inside English.
Mm-hmm.
So for people who are always talking about inside English, and I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but is inside English different from one point on the right hand side, say shooting it right to left? Like, could you tell us a little bit about inside English? Because a lot of people,
Okay,
that's
so
one thing that
right.
they talk about, and I always hear it, and I go, and I know it's wrong when they're saying it. So could you show us something with a little
I'll show you.
inside? Yeah.
Yes, definitely, sure. So that first shot that I made on this rail here, I use inside English,
Yep.
which means so I was using right hand English to make this ball, the 3 ball now in the corner pocket. When we use inside English, what it does is it actually helps you cut the ball easier. And when I'm lined up here, my tip, if I was able to show you better, you'd be able to see that my Q-tip is actually pointing at a part of the 3 ball on the 3 ball. Now, if I were to, let's say, be using outside English, which would be left-hand English in this case, and aiming at the 3, my tip would be aiming through this cue ball off of the 3 ball. So it wouldn't be on it anymore. It would be out of the 3. So you have inside and outside. So one way using inside, you're actually pointing your tip most often at a piece of this object ball. And that's done like this. And if I really look closely, what it looks like to me is that my tip is actually pointing to the middle of that 3 ball from where my cue stick is. And you see that just made that
And
ball
that's
no
how you
problem.
change. That's how you change that. Right. So if you were to
Yes,
hit that with center ball, it would be there'd be a totally different.
totally different thing. And I personally, and I'm going to talk about this in my clinic, and I won't get into this too much
Won't
right
get into
now.
too much. Nope.
No, but we will be talking about outside English, inside English, and we will be talking about center ball. Now I'll just give you the demonstration of the outside English to make this shot and explain that
I
my,
had to ask because I noticed that you'd used inside English on that, and I was like, well, I have to ask her. And if this is going to be part of the clinic, this must be really cool because here's an
yes,
intro into what you're going to get. So this is like an intro.
yes, most definitely. So here I'm going to use outside English, and I'm going to actually now on this shot be aiming my right edge of the cue ball to a part of the 10, which to me right now looks as though it's about a half a ball aim with a tip of left-hand English.
Joanne, I know you're doing a podcast. I just want to say goodbye.
Oh, someone is saying goodbye to me. Missy is saying goodbye to me.
Hey guys, how
Hi.
are you?
Give you a big hug.
Thank you for being so amazing.
Thank you. You're a sweetheart. She played great, by the way. She's a good player. We just worked on her bridge. So here we go with left-hand English now, and my tip is aiming just off the 10 ball here. And there you
Now
have it.
look at
A
the
little
difference
bit
of path the
left-hand
cue
English.
ball. Yep, the cue ball ends up in a different spot. So depending on where you want to
Exactly.
be on the table and where your next shot is, you now have 2 ways of getting there. And
Right,
it
a couple
depends
of different
on
roads.
exactly.
I mean,
And
and then there's
you
more
want to know
things that we
both.
can do.
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah, go
absolutely.
ahead.
And
Feel
then there's,
free.
yeah,
But
and then
don't,
there's
like I said,
another,
let's not give away too
road.
much.
No, we're not. I mean, there's so much. This is a game. Listen. As you know, Gloria, this game is like learning how to play an instrument, and you never stop learning.
No.
I'm playing this game since I'm 4 years old. I learn something new almost every single day I come to the table in some manner or form. So that's the beauty of it, for me anyway. So here we're going to set the same shot up again. And now I'm going to hit again with outside English, which is that left-hand English, but I'm going to hit a little bit below center. So if I were to use the clock method here, I would say I'm going to hit it about 7 o'clock. Right, that's 7 o'clock. Yeah, that's correct. Just thinking about a clock. 7 o'clock. So,
Gonna draw back
and
to
now you
her.
see the cue
Yep.
ball comes here and comes out to center that way.
Right.
So,
If
depending
there's
on
a
what we're
ball in
looking
the
to do,
way, yeah, if there's a ball in the
yes,
way and you have to get around it, you don't want to hit anything.
sure,
These are
that's
different
right,
paths they're going to take, different shots.
correct, right. And now, like you were talking about center ball, so I'll try to hit center ball and just come straight up. And that goes just like that. For me, that's the least comfortable. I like to put a little stuff on the cue ball all the time, whenever possible, unless it's a totally straight shot. But in my clinic, I'm going to get really into that. So it's going to be eye-opening for people who have only heard so much about center, center, center. I'm going to talk a lot about putting a little bit of something on the cue ball so that we pick a side. And that's all I'm going to say about
And
it.
if you
Because it's very
could pick
exciting.
one single thing. Oh, someone had a question. Laura, and I'll just say Lori Roberts, excuse me. Any advantage in playing spin from adjusting the back of your cue? Oh, more questions. Or the front of the cue?
Say that again. What was it? I didn't
Any
hear.
advantage in applying spin from adjusting the back of your cue or the front of your cue? That's question number 1.
I'm not quite sure I understand what she means by that. From the
I think
front or
she's
the back?
asking, is there
Is
any
she
advantage
talking about elevation?
applying spin? I think she's talking, so spin to me is left, right,
Mhm.
right, from adjusting the back of your cue to the front. So I think she's saying if you pull back more, does it have this is what I'm thinking. Does it have any does it change the path? And I'm not sure. Lori, we're more than happy to answer that. If you can just maybe rephrase that. And if you just say spin, just say maybe left or right,
Right.
or rephrase that. So let's go to Mr. Pickles. When faced with the choice of being able to use follow or draw equally well for position on a shot, what do you choose and why, Joanne?
Okay, that's a super great question. I just was talking this evening about that. Years ago, when I played on the tour back in the 80s and early 90s, the game was more of a draw game because the clock was different, balls were different, the equipment was different. Like I play with a low deflection shaft now. Back in the day, my cue had a lot of deflection, so we did different things to play position. Now I would 100% say that today's modern game is more of a follow game. That's not to say that we never draw the ball, but whenever possible, we try to go forward. Why do we try to go forward? We try to go forward because we don't want to miss cue. And you rarely miss cue going forward and hitting a high cue ball. You can miss cue more easily going very low on the cue ball. And it's also more easy to control where you end up on the table by going forward. So if I get ball in hand, and so will be another thing I'm going to really get into during my clinic, ball in hand, you are almost always looking to see how can I get where I need to go by going forward and going directly to that place versus drawing and putting at risk the miscue. And it's just harder to control the draw for shorter distances. So, and even longer distances.
And there's
harder,
the answer.
so,
And there are probably
yeah.
some really great drills out there. I know a couple of good drills. Joanne will probably give you something if she sees you're struggling with a specific shot or a specific way. I'm sure that she'll help you out with that. If you want to join that clinic, please, as she said, contact Bobby Hilton. You can contact me, even because I'm here. You can send something to Women in Pool. I'll forward it over to the appropriate people. I'm willing to help out. No problem. Let's just get this clinic filled. I think we're halfway there or over halfway there. So get in while you can. Oh, wait, hold on. Pamela Reed, I remember. Oh, they're coming in now. Joanne only has 10 minutes. She has to go at 7:30. So I remember seeing you play tourneys at Magoo's in Tulsa. That's Pamela. Laura Berg, what's the best way to get back into the game after being on the down low for 18 months? Oh, gosh, I could answer that one. But
Go ahead, Gloria.
Me, no. That I'm gonna leave to you because you were away for 20 some odd years, came back, placed as you did. But I have my
Yeah.
own answer to that. Uh, I've not really played
Besides,
in since 2013, but um,
right.
yeah, I
Well,
want to know
I'll
that.
just I can share what it is, what I did
Oh,
to start
disabled
with.
list. She said the DL is disabled list.
Oh,
Ooh, okay, and that's
oh.
what mine was.
Well, wow. First of all, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you're feeling better now. And if you are, that's wonderful. If you're left with any kind of a permanent injury, I think I'd have to know what that is first before I could tell you how to approach getting back into the game. I will just speak for my own self that from the time I was very young, I was in high school, I had an injury playing sports with boys, which I probably shouldn't have been doing, but I'm very competitive. Not that you would ever know that about me, but I was playing hockey and I got checked and I ended up with a low back problem and it lasted me my whole life. So I do yoga for that. Yeah, I would say, a big part of why I've been able to come back and play again now is because I do yoga and I do take care of myself and I try to maintain my own personal health and I do a walk run like 3 to 4 days a week along with my yoga. Um, so I think it's very important to stay physically healthy. I know this game doesn't look like it's so physically grueling, but it actually is. If you're going to play it a lot and a lot of hours, the constant bending and everything, you have to be able to stand correctly. And this is one of the things that I will also talk about in my clinic about the stance and how, for me, I changed my stance coming back now because of my low back.
Right.
So I use a both legs bent stance on every shot because for me to do like this, that pushes my back out in a way. With this back leg straight, I can't do that anymore. It's just not good for me. I won't last. There's no way.
Yeah,
So I
it's
would
all
say
about
that
it's all about comfort at this point. I think,
yes,
Lori, that's what's going to boil down to. You're going to have to readjust to the comfort level that you're able to maintain your stamina. Because if you're not comfortable, you're not going to be making shots, and you're certainly not going to be making them consistently. I have not played a single match when I fell ill. I quit playing in 2013. And now I'm just gonna start getting back into playing, and it's gonna be in honor
right,
of my niece and my father. So
wonderful.
that's what's
That's
gonna
great.
motivate me. Um,
Yeah, there you go.
um,
That's awesome.
yeah, I would also suggest watching Lori, watching any of the women or reaching out to women who have had problems. Yes,
Definitely, definitely, good idea. And I want to add to that really fast because I don't want to lose my train of thought, Gloria. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
not at all.
Whoever you pick out to watch, I would suggest because I did this on my comeback, and I actually, and it says it in, I've spoken openly about this. I actually studied Allison's setup. I don't have her stance, but I do have her chin on the stick and the cue grazing your body. So I think you should try to copy somebody and look at them and try to take little bits from people that are physically built like you. That's a very important thing. And that's why I did that with Allison. She and I are approximately the same height and built very similarly. So that's a good tip, I think, for everybody out there.
Yeah, and comfort is definitely for me, Lori, the biggest thing. Being comfortable at the table. Um, and that's something that they teach you in the PBIA class. That someone who's six
Right.
foot six is not going to have the same stance as someone who's 5'2". Someone who's 105
Exactly.
pounds is not going to have the same stance as someone who's 190 pounds. And left-handed versus right-handed, right eye dominant, right hand dominant versus I'm right hand dominant, but I'm left eye dominant. So
Mm-hmm.
we're all individuals, we're different, so we want to mimic somebody who's most try at least and reach out to
Yes.
people. Monica Webb came out, and I just want to throw this out there. Monica Webb came out talking about how she has lupus, and I only mention it
Mm-hmm.
because she made it public, or I would never ever have said a word. So she might be somebody to say something to on a page, ask a question, and see how she handles things. But try and find somebody who has a similar that you know of that's come out and has a similar issue, because
Yeah,
back
that's a
problems would
great
be,
idea.
yeah, back problems would be one thing versus, an endocrine system issue. They're two totally different things. So you have to treat them accordingly. Um,
Sure,
anyway, um,
absolutely.
so we're basically at the 7:30 mark. I know Joanne has to go. Elise may want to sit, if I don't know if Elise has time to sit and talk a little bit more about the Palmer Bird Cup. I don't want to keep Joanne. Me too,
I'm gonna
Gloria.
just
Love to
sign
have you.
off.
Yes. Yeah. Do you want us to sign you out?
Yes, please. I just want to just say, Elise, so great to meet you over
Oh,
this 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 way that we did this evening at the Women in Pool show.
Yeah, so great to meet you.
Yeah, good luck with everything, and yeah, so cool to talk to you. Yeah,
Absolutely.
and thank you, Gloria. Another great job as usual.
thank you very, very much. Elise, and by the way,
Mwah.
Elise gets a trophy for being like the most patient woman I've ever had on Women in Pool, I think. She just like sat through that whole
Nice.
thing and hopefully,
It was
uh,
interesting. I like to hear
absorb
it.
something. Oh, there we
Yeah,
go. All right.
Okay.
Okay,
All
so
right.
thank you, Joanne, for your time. Thank you for donating your
Pleasure.
time to us. We truly appreciate it. I know I definitely
My
appreciate it.
pleasure.
Namaste and
Namaste. Indeed.
namaste. And we will talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Bye, guys. Bye.
So long. All right, so we'll take an extra minute or two here to kind of go over the Women in Pool and the Palmer Bird Cup. I also wanted to throw out my in the zone. Any woman who plays in the tournament over at Yale gets 15% off of any in the zone apparel. This is my sublimated shirt. Basically, this starts white, and everything gets added to it, and that's how sublimation works. So instead of being patched on or something, this is actually in the shirt itself. So it's basically like any other thread. So like this black shirt, that's how sublimation works. I'm not gonna get in depth about it, but it's kind of cool. And I want to offer something to Elise, for racks. If you guys want any type of apparel, come to me, and I'll definitely help the ladies who are playing in the Palmer Bird Cup.
great. Thank you so much.
You're
There's also
welcome.
a now that you mention it, there's also a
This
shirt
one.
that Rax designed that's available in the Rax store. A
Ooh,
Palmer Bird Cup logo T-shirt, and all the um, profits are being donated to Monkeys Pack Animal Rescue. I just chose that rescue because my mom was an animal lover, and so if you want a shirt, that says the Palmer Bird Cup in her honor, all the proceeds are going to Monkeys Pack Rescue.
wait. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I'm a huge animal lover. I used to volunteer for animal services. I also helped foster at one time. And I know that Pete over at Rax, the owner of Rax, is another huge animal lover. And that's really great that you chose an animal society for that. I think that we have the purple, right? I sent the purple over. We have the purple picture as well to put up. That might be the shirt that she's talking about. Let me take a look here. Hold on one second, because if not, uh, all right. So let me go in here. I apologize for this. I thought I sent it over. I put a big heart to it, but I just want to, is this, oh gosh. All right.
Yes, that is
Is
the
that
logo
is,
on the shirt.
okay. So this right here is going to be sold at Rax, right?
There's
And
going to be a link that's released. I don't
a
think it's
link.
made, the store has been made public yet. All the ladies that are playing in the cup are receiving a T-shirt, and then it's going to be open up to the public as well. I can find out exactly when from Pete that link is going to be public.
Yes, and I think that once we get that link, I am asking all ladies, please share it, because the proceeds go to a good cause. This is a woman who who paved the way for women's pool, and now her daughter is a captain playing with three phenomenal female players. And we're going to be talking a little bit more next week about this with Sarah Archer and Tracy Featherly. And if there maybe another woman that wants to come in from a different team, more than welcome. At least if you have somebody on your team that you'd like to come in, maybe I'll ask Stacy Bourbeau to come in and chit chat about this, because this is a really big deal to the women. So it's a huge deal to us. And there it is again. I'm showing it from my phone, but I don't know if you can see it too well. You can just pop it up over there, right? There we go. Okay. So there we go again. And team captains, Elise Valancourt, top left, Sarah Archer, bottom left, Stacy Bourbeau, bottom right. And what is her first name? Hurley? What is that?
Jocelyn Hurley.
Jocelyn Hurley. Okay, so that's team captain number 4. And this is going to be an event to watch. So if you get a chance, please do so. It's going to be streamed from Rax. Is that correct, Elise? It's going to be streamed from Rax?
Rax page will be streaming. Yep.
Okay, so go over to that page, go over and like it, and follow it, get live notifications because you don't want to miss out on the date. Again is September
17th and 18th for the first semifinal round, 24th and 25th for the second semifinal. And then the finals will be October 14th and 15th.
Okay, so have a little time there. So everybody, yeah, definitely join in. And don't forget, Women in Pool is adding $2,000, and that's over at Yale Billiards. That's Bobby Hilton. The Shark Stream is not going to be on that day. It's going to be streamed directly from here, but it's going to be using their equipment. So we thank the Shark Stream. We thank Bobby Hilton. We thank all the players that are coming. We thank all the spectators in advance. Please also, if you're wanting to go to Connecticut, it's Wallingford, Connecticut, for Joanne Mason Parker's clinic. Please do so. It's almost full. There are just a couple spots left. Let's fill it up for Joanne. Alrighty. And I think that pretty much, thank you very much, Barbara. Where is the cup tourney? Pamela Reed. Yes, that's in Rax. I believe it's Vernon, if I remember correctly. Vernon, Connecticut. Is that right, Elise?
Yeah. Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And remember, get your shirt on, whether it's in the zone or the Palmer Bird Cup shirt, which is all the proceeds are going to be going to a great cause. And really can't ask for anything better than that. And thank you to Pete and for doing this and having the proceeds go there. And thank you to In the Zone as well. Now that the show is over, I guess I should put my In the Zone show on because I didn't put it on in the beginning.
But you showed it.
Yeah, I did show it for like 2 minutes. I think I'm in trouble, Elise. It's a good thing I'm part of sales there, huh? So anyway, hopefully Elise will become part of a fixture here at Women in Pool. That's what I'm going to be asking Elise right here, and she can take some time to think about that. But we'd love to have you on to talk with the ladies.
Yes,
maybe,
absolutely.
yeah,
I'd love to get involved.
Look at that. I didn't even have to get a ring or get on my knee or anything. Elise, welcome to Women in Pool, and thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. So, yeah, so we will see you with Sarah Archer and Tracy Featherly, who, by the way, Tracy, we owe each other a virtual match. I think we're 1-1 at this point. Yeah, that will be the 26th. So, yeah, we'll see you guys back on the 26th. Tune in, chime in, share, help, and we'll talk to you soon. All right.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you so much for coming on, Elise. I truly appreciate it. I really was honored. I am honored. Thank you. Have a great night.